the first podcast with myself, Lynn Gordon, and my bestie.
Brenda Borns.
We are going to discuss the name of our podcast first, which is Fight the FUPA. For those that don't know what FUPA is, Brenda, we just have talked about this. It's kind of a name that's sort of a buzzword right now.
Fatty.
Upper
Pubic.
area.
Otherwise known as middle-aged weight gain.
FUPA! Middle abdominal weight gain. So the reason we came up with Fight the FUPA is because we've known each other for over 25 years. We've known each other's struggle as far as weight up and down. We had kids at the exact same time within 3 months. We gained weight. We've lost weight. I myself, I'm a diabetes education nurse of 30 years. So I know what to do. But of course, like everyone, I gained weight after having my son, and eventually in my 40s it went away with very strict, probably over restrictive diets. And I did actually excessively do fitness competitions, which is not something you can do to keep weight off. So now in my 50s, the middle abdominal weight gain really came, and we've sort of figured out what we should do as far as just a healthy lifestyle and our journey. And that's what we're here to share is how to fight the FUPA.
Yeah, it's been truly a journey for sure. So for myself, I'm a kinesiology grad. Back then it was called the Bachelor of Physical Education and Recreation, and now it's kinesiology. And even when you have all of the education, it was still really hard to implement. I'm now a live event producer, so I didn't really technically follow my degree per se, but it was a really high stress job. And my journey was I gained quite a bit of weight right out of university, actually, while I was still in university. And it was 3.5 decades of the roller coaster, the constant dieting, the constant trying absolutely everything from the Weight Watchers to the shakes to the going and weighing in. And I've tried absolutely every single thing. And I had a really hard time figuring it out. So 10 years ago, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. And thankfully, I was surrounded by a lot of very knowledgeable people. My best friend Lynn is a diabetes educator who actually teaches the doctors the newest research. So I was very lucky. My sister-in-law is a pharmacist. My mother is a retired nurse. And I had a lot of knowledge around me, but I still struggled. And both Lynn and I have been very active in our adult lives, whether it's walking, competing, running, playing sports, and it was still a struggle. And I'm really excited to be able to share all of the things that Lynn and I have experienced, learned, the things that we figured out on our own, and some of the newest information that's out there, and some of the new, what would I say, Lynn? Like just
The medications,
yeah,
just
options.
the journey in general has become easier because we have more tools in the toolbox. And as
Yeah.
a diabetes education nurse, the main ones that people know about, GLP-1s like Ozempic and tirzepatide, we will discuss because, again, there's a lot of new things that we can use in our toolbox. But to start with, 25, 30 years ago, Dr. Atkins kind of did us a huge disservice and kind of told us all that carbs were bad. People, when I started nursing, were eating piles of just protein and fat. And it didn't even look right to walk into a hospital where everyone's doing their morning, recording with a big pile of eggs and bacon and cheese. I just thought that that can't be good for your heart, saturated fat. So we are going to tackle our journeys, but also middle abdominal weight gain in general for anybody, whether you're male, female, high stress, have poor sleep habits, sedentary lifestyle, family history.
All
All
of
of
the
those things make what's called metabolic syndrome, or um, it's epidemic in nature, but literally pre-diabetes or even just insulin resistance, which just basically is a fancy word that means your food there's something blocking your insulin. Your food's not getting in your cells. So your body thinks you're not eating enough, and it holds on to everything right in the midsection, which again, middle abdominal, fatty upper pubic area,
Yeah.
the FUPA, it's hard to get rid of. And 6 years ago, I had a hysterectomy. I was left with one ovary, but it is now working like it's might as well not even be there. It's just there's nothing. There's no so hormones play a big role also. So we'll be talking about a lot of these things in our podcast, but generally speaking, there are so many new things, like I said, and we're excited to share what has worked for us with a combined over 100 pounds weight loss for both of us. So we've decided to share our, people want to know about how do you get rid of this middle abdominal weight gain? And mine literally has been mostly in the last 3 years that I've tried everything. Brenda's tried everything, and it was stuck. And
Hard. It's hard.
we, yeah, it's really hard, and we know the struggle, and we even know what to do as a diabetes education nurse of 30 years, as a exercise physiology, or
Well,
what?
that's a stretch. Like I got the degree.
Okay,
Let's be
but
real.
really, we
I'll be called
know
officially
what we're
real.
supposed to do, and
Yes.
we have the tools. But then you're raising kids. You have
High stress job.
work, regular stress, traffic. I mean, you name it. Um, and Brenda, maybe you can tell everyone just why you're wearing a patch right now, because obviously, I mean, most people know
I
us,
just want to
but
look badass. Yeah, so 4 years ago, I suffered a freak accident out walking my dog, and it resulted in the loss of my right eye. And so, not only were we in a global pandemic and everyone was quarantined at home, I was going through a journey of relearning everything. And it wasn't easy. It was really hard on my family, but you know, I think that when you're a little bit stubborn and throw that in with a supportive online community, I went online. Nobody could come visit me. Nobody could come visit our family. It was really, really difficult. And um, I had to relearn absolutely everything from, you know, running. How did my eye see the ground monocularly? How did I perceive distance, depth, peripheral vision, all of those things? And I'm a super stubborn person, pretty persistent. And I remember I'd be on the phone with Lynn, and quite literally 3 weeks after my injury, I was sneaking out of the house at 5:30 in the morning because I didn't want to wake up Randy and Taya. And me and the dog who caused the accident were out jogging because I wanted to understand, how does my brain understand a monocular world? And with that came, a lot of um, understanding how my body reacted to the trauma. I lost a lot of my hair. It still hasn't grown back. There's a lot of camouflage in here. It's good from far, but far from good. So it was it was a very emotional time. Whoa,
hey, it's okay.
this is my pretend microphone, so everybody, just so you know. It was a really emotional journey, and I'm very grateful that Lynn was quite literally um, my right hand girl. Like, she was on the phone with me, helping me through stuff, because it was when I left the hospital that day, they just gave me some metformin, which is what I was on for my diabetes, and I was losing weight like crazy, not in a good way. I literally lost 30 pounds in 30 days. And I said to Lynn, wow, like I'm really smaller, but I can't stop being sick. Like, it was, my body was
That's
so
the
much.
trauma response. Just,
Yeah.
like if somebody gets divorced, it's sort of the same idea. Your body just wasn't holding on to nutrients. You just lost
No.
way too fast, but then you lose all your muscle. So we do want to
But,
talk about how to
but
lose
guess what? I
weight.
gained it all back. I gained it all back. As I
Right.
got
We
healthier, I
want to
gained it
lose
all
weight to
back.
sustain and keep it off. So, yeah, so we have a lot of, journey that we can discuss as far as like our health journeys, but in general, we just want to share what has worked and what has worked as far as success. And we have like again, I think people don't know that this is a struggle of most all over North
Right.
America, but most people do struggle at some point with their weight, and that's, even with diet, even with exercise, with sleeping, everything needs to be aligned, and it doesn't always work, and a lot of people have issue. And mine's more recent that it was really, really a struggle, but um, I've lost now a total of 14 pounds in the last 8 weeks. And well, you can probably say it's been a year or so consistently, and you've lost a lot of weight also. So, we want to share about GLP-1s and what they've done for us and what they've done for many, many people. And eventually all of the different things that the indications that what they're used for. We also probably want to share because it is something that a lot of people think of as cheating for, to lose weight. It's more though of training wheels. It's like it helps you with inflammation. It helps you with cravings. It helps your food go into your bloodstream slower so that um, you don't feel hungry all day. One of the main things I was doing with insulin resistance again, or feeling like I couldn't lose weight in my midsection, is that I felt like I was always having low sugar, so I would get nauseated a lot, and that makes you hungry. So I was hungry all the time. I was always searching for food and looking for food, and it was my coworkers that actually said, "Oh, like." You're always running to the fridge for a snack, and I would bring yogurts and nuts and fruits, but honestly, I don't have those cravings anymore, and I sleep better, and I have less inflammation, and my joints don't hurt, and a lot of things that go along with other topics like menopause, more for females. But if you're midlife and you're in your 50s, I was sweating out of my eyeballs. My head was
Me
in the
too, and I
free.
only have one.
My head was in the freezer at work one day, and everyone walked in. I was like, oh, I just, I had to put my head in the freezer a few times. I'm running hot. All of those things
Hot
have,
flashes at night
Mhm.
were
Yes.
so overwhelming. It was really hard for Randy because I mean he's a very warm person, and I'd be sleeping. I'm like, I gotta open the window. It's -40 in Winnipeg in the winter, and I've got the window cracked. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I listen. You don't understand. You actually don't understand." So I just moved to the other bedroom because I couldn't sleep with how hot he was, and I couldn't sleep without the window cracked in the middle of a Winnipeg winter. And so now my hormones are starting to calm down. I don't have those crazy hot flashes as I used to, but I started having the hot flashes at 42. I'm 56 now. That's been a heck of a long time that I had those flashes. But I think that Lynn and I can both bring different perspectives of her as the diabetes nurse and me as someone who has been going through diabetes, and how we've both, I know the GLP-1 medicine helped me bring my A1C down, and that's all I really cared about. The bonus is that I lost weight, which helped my blood sugars get better. At the end of the day, I was so scared of, Lynn, my fingers feel tingly. I don't want to lose limbs. Like you see diabetics that have had to have the amputations, and I'm going to be a grandma in a couple of months. I want to be a damn cool grandma who's active. And my entire life of being a mother, I struggled that I wanted to be that healthy role model for my daughter and for my son, and I couldn't get there. I was always the active mom, but I wasn't a healthy weight. And so now I feel that I'm actually closer to a healthy weight for the first time in 3.5 decades. That I feel the strongest I've ever felt, as I've always been active. But all of the tools in the toolbox of, and Lynn has told me for decades, you need to lift weights, you need to have small meals, drink your water. I heard it all. I just wasn't doing it. And it was really hard as an event producer, um, to understand that my lifestyle is not really great as a diabetic. And Lynn I remember one key thing that you taught me, Lynn. You said, Brenda, it's actually easier for me to work with my type 1 patients because they measure how much insulin they need and we give them the insulin that they need. As a type 2, it's sleep, stress, exercise, food. It's all of these other combinations of things that are really, really hard to do. And I wasn't eating properly. I definitely wasn't sleeping properly. When you're working 13, 14-hour days, you're grabbing some out of the green room when you're running by producing a concert or whatever. It wasn't a healthy lifestyle. And so I've had to learn a lot. And I finally feel in the last year that I've gone from 172 to under 150. I'm 149 pounds. That's been in the last year of me really dialing in and understanding. And I have to thank Lynn for that because I've been struggling for 3.5 years. I've been struggling for 10 years as a diabetic. But
So,
in the last year, I've kind of figured it out. I finally feel that I figured it out.
again, GLP-1 medications that you know of as most people know Ozempic and Mounjaro, but they've been around for 20 years and they are not new. But for diabetes, they've always helped with the first generation ones helped a lot with bringing the A1C down. So your A1C is down now. But the last several years, 2007, since the semaglutide and the tirzepatide, the Ozempic, their gut hormones, they help your food digest much slower. You feel full longer. And then that's why I'm not having those low sugars or those feelings. I'm feeling full. I'm feeling satisfied. The food noise around is gone. You don't think about snacking all day and like, nor, and I didn't even know that was, you don't even know that's a thing until you have it. And it kind of just makes you not think about food all day. And again, subconsciously, we didn't even know we were all night thinking about running to the fridge or doing this or doing that. So, for myself, I was gaining a lot in the midsection. I was the heaviest I'd ever been, where I felt sluggish and tired and just not myself. So again, it doesn't entirely make you lose as much weight as you've lost. You have to do the change. You have to make some changes. You do have to use it as like the tools or the training wheels, but people still have to do a lot. It's kind of like someone if they try to take steroids and gain muscle, you can take it, but it doesn't just magically make you gain muscle. So it does help with inflammation. It does now help with many indications like again cardiac and other things we'll talk about. But the main thing is again, we're going to discuss more in other podcasts, but there's many indications for it. And, it will become more accessible. It will become, I think, for everybody, something that you can utilize. And I do what's called microdosing. So I do small little doses so I don't have as many side effects. And even then, it does the trick to kind of help you feel full and satisfied. So I think the main thing to take away from our first podcast is we have lots of things to share. We have lots of great ideas, and we hope that everyone will be able to sense that we're passionate about these things because it is a lifestyle shift, but it also just as far as our health journey, it really is aiding and it's really helping. So hopefully this is something that will help other people or inspire other people to learn more about hopefully not just GLP-1s, but exercise,
How to read
sleep.
nutrition labels that I'm still learning.
Yeah, the great protein sources,
Right.
workouts, anything that is health related and can help you fight the FUPA.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're really excited to have the conversation, but lean on experience and knowledge. Lynn has the knowledge. I have kind of experienced some things, but send us your questions. Post a comment. Share this podcast if you feel that it could help somebody because every single day we are eternal learners. And Lynn and I are always still trying to learn. I always try to learn how my diabetes can be better under control. And when I say that, Lynn has quite literally helped me I have tried so many diabetes medicines over the years, over 10 years. 10 years, I would take information from Lynn. She would ask me my blood sugars. I would go to my doctor. We would try this, we would try that. Nothing was working. I tried Ozempic 5 years ago. It didn't work for me, right? So certain things work, certain things don't. Everybody's individual. I can speak to it as what worked for me from the diabetes angle, but I'm really happy that there's medicine out there that's available to help people, whether it's with their diabetes, whether it's with their obesity, whatever it is. There are medications out there, and there are healthy lifestyle opportunities and lifestyle changes and things that you can use that to add to your toolbox to get to healthy. I've been chasing healthy for so long that I finally feel that, whew,
It's coming
uh,
together, and that's the whole
it's
thing.
coming
I think
together.
it's um
Together.
it takes a lifetime sometimes to figure out what, to wrap it all together, but experience and everything combined, we're in that sort of era where we are not quite empty nesters, but this is about now the next chapter in our life and being healthy so that we can stand and be functionally able to, like you said, run around with our grandkids and live where we can build muscle and be able to move and not fall. And we're going to extend our life by sharing our information. So, again, keep in mind that it might not be always available to everyone and it might be a little costly right now, but I think things are shifting and changing, and we're going to see a lot more opportunity for people to have access. So so this is basically just the introduction, and hopefully you enjoyed or got an opportunity to see who we are. So it was great to connect, and we will see you on podcast number 2, where we will probably discuss more about GLP-1s, but then get into like side effects and how they work and whatever other things that you might want to talk about.
Awesome.
All
Thank you, Lynn. Bye, everyone.
right.
Cousins. We'll see you next Sunday.